Day 1 is about defining what is the problem and the goal for the sprint. A very useful tool in understanding the problem is a journey map that shows the steps customers take and the interactions they have with others in the process of purchasing your product. The goal of the customer is on the right, different stakeholders are on the left, and in between you map the steps. For example, someone is looking to rent a house to live in. There are 3 parties involved: the renter, the real estate agent, and the owner. Someone looking to rent will likely first do research online about the neighborhood, prices, availability, etc. Then they will contact a real estate agent for an inspection, fill out lengthy application forms that a real estate agent will assess and discuss with the owners, and if lucky, they'll be offered the place. This journey map will give your team a shared understanding of what the problem is. The next step is to dig a little deeper into the elements presented in your map. This is where it may be very useful to bring in experts to explain to your team more about the elements of the map. Interviewing experts can be of great help in understanding the problem you're trying to solve. Phrasing issues as "how might we" questions is a great way to identify problems and at the same time trigger action-oriented creative thinking. Consider the following statement: the search portal does not show any relevant listings. A likely response to this statement is that your brain automatically started agreeing that this is a problem. If instead we worded the problem as "how might we improve the relevance of our search results," your brain immediately starts thinking about solutions. That is the power of the "how might we" question. Avoid embedding solutions in your questions, as at this stage you want to focus on understanding the problem and generate future action. You don't want to exclude other ideas at this stage. Depending on the problem, you may also want to define your customer. Use the value proposition canvas to define things like who your customer is, what are their jobs, and what are their biggest pains and gains. For example, meet Jane, a young single professional who has recently moved to a new city. She has sufficient income to pay for the right place and service, and is savvy online. Her main goal is to find a new place to live, where she feels secure and wants to be perceived as a young, trendy professional. Her biggest pains are that she lacks time and doesn't know the city. And her biggest gains are to find a fashionable, secure apartment with trendy coffee shops and restaurants nearby. Compare this with Bob, who recently retired and has lived in this city all his life. His main job is finding a place that suits this new phase in his life. Thinking back to our customer journey map, improving the suburb information will be very valuable for time-poor and new to the area Jane, but not so much for Bob. Ideally, you want to initially focus on customers who perceive this as a big problem, because the larger the pain, the more someone is willing to pay for a solution. The last step for day 1 is to settle on a goal for the sprint, which may often require you to zoom in on a particular part of the journey map to keep it manageable. After that, it's time to rest and get ready for day 2.